name is Linn, Microsoft MVP and Copilot Solutions Manager at Delta Insights. So not just Copilot, I do everything AI within the low-code area in Power Platform because I came from the background of the Dynamics 365. So I'm quite passionate with all these Power Platform components. So like you guys build anything like Power Automate, quite familiar with building cloud flows, right? But how about AI Builder? Okay, that's good topic, good thing. Like a lot of things these days, people talk a lot about Copilot Studio and Azure AI Foundry, but it's not really well-known components within the Power Platform, which is prompts. Like previously it's AI Builder, then nowadays like all these large language model and all these things come in, they come up with another subcomponent under AI Builder called prompts. So that is like prompt is like previously the AI builders like you train it and then you get something like you used to like for image detection, right? You submit like 10 images and you detect how many apples. You train the model and then eventually use it to in your Power Platform local components. But with the evolution of AI with large language model, you don't even have to train it. Like you just have to prompt express it because AI is getting more intelligent enough to like in this example, we have like so many out of the box templates to read a business card or to summarize, to classify an image. Is this a bus or is it a normal car? And these kind of things, or sentiment analysis, everything. There are a lot of templates within the AI built prompts. So, but like when to use it, like we have Copilot Studio, can do everything. Why would we use prompts? So we use it to like something that you need as a like standalone. So you have this import and you want this output, right? So you don't have to overcomplicate with having an agent. Like I want to do a sentiment analysis based on the email of the customer and put it as the positive, negative, neutral in another field. Like you don't need a Copilot agent to do that. You just need a Cloudflow with an AI prompt, right? So if you have an AI capability into the existing component, so you have existing workflow, existing Cloudflows that converts these customer support incoming email into the case, right? So you have it, but okay, I want to do a bit of a prioritization. Like I want an AI to do the prioritize based on the content, if it is high priority, low priority. So in that case, like you can just add a prompt, write a prompt to prioritize it and put it into one of the fields. So in that case, you can make your normal cloud flows a little bit more intelligent. Or sometimes you can do pre-process the data. So when I built the agents with Copilot Studio, and like at one point, what I hit at a roadblock is there's a limitation in the token. So there's a limitation in the OpenAI agent token, but there's a lower limit for a Copilot. So the use case was we want to process like 5 or 6 pages of the PDF coming in, and we do the process and analyze the thing. But the problem is, then the Copilot agent says, "Oh, you have like exceeded like too many data that we can't like exceed the number of tokens." So each token in the large language model means like the word, right? I like coffee, so like it's like one token like coffee. So how they track how they segregate the process. So how we solve this problem is we put that in the agent flow. First, we pre-process the data with a prompt like this document. We pre-process and summarize the key items, the areas that we want, not the whole document, right? And get it into the JSON format and pass it on to the Copilot's agent, and then agent will process the rest. So that's where we use this the prompts. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much all the slides. Maybe some more slides for licensing, but that's all for the demo. So start off with the demo. We are gonna build a prompt, right? So imagine we are property, like we're selling properties, and then we have like a website, contact us, right? And then there's what they're interested in. They want to put something, and then we ask AI to do some recommendations, and then get an output as a JSON format, and then we push it to another system or API. So that is the current scenario. So let's say that this is how our inquiry, like how many we have. Like I want a minimum 3-bedroom. I have a 1 million budget, and then I have some information that the areas that I'm interested in. I like close to the train station or bus station. So all these, whatever you mentioned. So in the traditional way, what we would do, so all these data, imagine this Power Pages is saved into the customer submission data table. Right? So when it is added, what we're going to do is in the traditional way, right? We can filter. To do the normal filter, we can say like, so there's a list. Before that, I will show you. So what we have it in the backend database. So we have a list of properties and which are available, which are pending, how many bedrooms, and the price. And so in the traditional way, what we can do is we can have a listing status. This number is available, and like number of bedrooms, like less than or equal to this number specified here, and the budget's less than or equal to this number specified. But we can't filter further to this kind of like big chunk of text, right? But we have property description. Like some of the properties are located in like close to the convenience stores, and like they are like modern upgrades, and the kitchen has done renovation, easy access to the public transport, and all these things. So the property has description, and the inquiry is coming as a description. So we would like to do a match and show and return the top 3 recommendations that match with you. So instead of listing those queries in a normal traditional way, what we can do is we can build prompts. Right? Okay, let's build a prompt. Where do we start building a prompt? I have a solution. I want to build I want to create a new prompt, but wait, there's no way to like create a prompt here. You can add an existing prompt from this AI model, but you can't really create from the solution, which is a bit confusing. So all you have to do is go to the make.bars.com, go to more, and like discover all. And it is way under here, this AI and the prompts. So if you frequently use it, make sure to pin it. And so once you pin it, it will appear on your this site navigation as default. And you want to build your prompt so that as I shown in the previous screenshot, we have so many out of the box templates. You can use those templates if it's matching with your requirement. Let's say I want to find like something recommendation. There's nothing that I want to that match with my requirements. So what you can do is you can build your own prompt. So just like Copilot Studio prompt, you just specify the prompt. And the good thing is nowadays, like you don't know how to write a good prompt, right? Like we can speak to each other in a natural language, but how do we make it precise to make the machine large language model understand our prompt? So luckily you can get started with the Copilot, just a short sentence. So I start with this one. So I have 3 parameters: number of the bedrooms, budget, and inquiry message. So we have in the Power Pages, these are the 3 parameters that we are going to do the filter, and with the property reference. So with the prompt to return top 3 recommendations from the property table with the following columns. So I want these columns, and which is the price of similar or below budget. So we specify they offer 1,000, but if it's 1,000, 1 million, but it's like 1,000,000 1,000. Okay, maybe just show it, right? So just don't do it like less than or equal. And exact or same similar bedrooms, and the property preference matches the description of the property. So this is the one that AI is really better than using the normal query. So let's put it there. Ask Copilot to come up with something for the prompt. So let's see. Okay. It asks, okay, your tasks with this property recommendation, the instruction. So we have 3 parameters: number of bedrooms, budget, and inquiry message. Filter. So as I mentioned in the filter criteria, and what the output that we want, and doing the ranking. So I didn't even think about, okay, what should I do in my ranking, right? I didn't even think about putting there, but the Copilot suggested, because that is how you specify the prompt to make it more effective. So, okay, it looks good. And I want those in the JSON format because I want to pass this data to another API. And okay, it looks good. I just want to keep it. Okay, so now we have to specify where are we getting from this one, like it's getting from a property table. So where this property table, we can find So it's so here we have this knowledge of the database, and of the property table, and we want this property name from the Dataverse. We have this property table, and what we need is property name, price, description, bedrooms, address, agent. So let's say we want this information, and we add those. Okay. And when we do test the prompt, what we need to do is we need to populate this placeholder. So we have the bedrooms. I said, okay, I get a 3-bedroom and 1 million budget. And the inquiry message of this one. So see, that's all come up with this kind of JSON formats. If you don't like this format and you want it in a specific format, you can specify it in this section. So for this one, I think I'm good enough for that. So let's say property recommendation JSON prompt. Right, so I'll save it so it looks good. And once you save it, you can add it into the solution. This AI model, add AI model, can add it to this one solution so that it can be deployed from development to the higher environments. And in your flow, okay, I don't need this list properties anymore, right? So because I can get data from the prompt itself without even listing. So previously, the prompt didn't have this knowledge base access to the Dataverse. So what we had to do is we had to list and pass these JSON, the prompt, and then prompt to process, and then come back. But now we don't even need this anymore. Let's delete this. And how you want to do in this, add this prompt. Here's the run a prompt, but if you can't find, you can enter a prompt and this AI builder run a prompt. Run a property recommendation JSON prompt. And so you can have this. And in the budget, we can use this free values from the trigger. Budget, the bedroom, and inquiry message is the message. And whenever this record is created, it will run this prompt. And again, after that, once you get a JSON, you can call that data and then send it to another API. And in the prompt, you have this structure output. That is where you get this data, or even if you want just the array, you can get this recommendations. So if you look at the prompt, so this is if you just get the recommendations, it will just return this part, not the whole JSON. And one more thing is, if you are like exporting as a JSON, make sure you set the output format in the JSON, not the text. So that will make it a lot cleaner. So that is pretty much for the first scenario of this demo. Any question with this scenario?
How do you license this?
Okay, that is this part I will get to in next 20 minutes. Yeah. Any other question other than licensing?
How do you send let's say you created an array of all the list properties that is recommended by the prompt.
Yes.
How do you display that back to the user here?
Oh, okay. Power Pages. If you're talking about Power Pages,
But do you send them via email?
yeah, that would be a bit more ideal because your Power Automate will run asynchronously, and so like, unless you submit the data, you need to do some scripting, right? You submit the data, and then like you keep waiting, and in your submission data, let's say we will have one more field, let's say like recommended properties, and then wait until that field has the data, and then retrieve that data with a JavaScript and render it and show it on the website. But maybe like we can just email it from here, which would be better, right? So now we have data. If you gotta send an email, you probably wouldn't need the like JSON format, right? So what you can do is you can have it in a text format and like return the result as a list of property recommendation and email for the customer, for example, and then it will just come up with like more proper, like readable text format, and then you can use it in your like email body. You can also ask the prompt to do the HTML styling and format the way you want. So all you need is you have to specify it in this output format. But currently, it's, as you can see, it's showing what is it called, Markdown format. Probably not supported in the Outlook connector, but you can ask, okay, I want it in the HTML format. So it will come in HTML format. Okay, cool. So that's the first demo. The scan demo is the one that I mentioned just now, converting email to the case. So we imagine we have the traditional support email. People send the support team with all these issues and things. Imagine we don't have any portal, and we convert it into our case management system. And we used to do that, just convert and put everything into the case description. And the problem statement is we have like someone sending like this kind of like big chunk email, like sometimes a lot of unnecessary things. Agents have to read through and take time to resolve. So, okay, let's make a summarize the case and like put some sentiment analysis and then some category, and so that we will make it more efficient. So in that case, like as I mentioned, somebody sent this like emails, big chunk emails that's their guest Wi-Fi accounts that we're creating. Like, so I say like at Microsoft, right? We're giving the guest Wi-Fi. This one it's not working. Like we're now having they need to present like this urgent, like, and then like I send an email to IT. Like IT received this email and this email to be converted into the case. So normally what you do, you can receive an email, you create a case, put everything in description, and then everyone like read through and populate the other fields like what is this category, and then route it and all these things. So in that case, what you can build is you can build an AI prompt. Okay, let's say like summary. Okay, this one, the template summarize text. This one looks quite similar to what we want to do, the case summary. So let's try that. So I copy this email, the sample email, and put it into the text, and I just that's it. So you test the prompt. Okay, so I get the summary like of the email, but I want it to be like split it down for case officer to understand what is the just one liner first and more details, and I want more impact. And so just like what we did just now, we can create as a empty one. So like we'll analyze the email body and summarize it, a case summary, one sentence issue. So like at a glance, you know what's going on, and then some detail and the impact. We just like want 3 different sections, and we just build the prompt with Copilot so that you don't have to handwrite all these kind of set of instructions. But it doesn't mean like you need to keep it that way. You can redraft, or you can refine your instructions, or you can like accept it and update it in over here. So instead of like 1 sentence, like you want 2 sentences maybe. So impact, and once you get it, you test it with this email body again. Okay, so now it looks more better. Like at a glance, it's more structure, just normal template as the summary. It's more structure and how the way I want. And I'll just save it as a case summary prompt, and then use it as the use it in our flow to create the case. So in our flow, I just call a run a prompt. Prompt is a case summary prompt. And when we create a new case, there is the case summary field where you can add the details from this run summary prompt. And then, okay, now I still need the sentiment and category. Right? So in the case, the sentiment and category are drop downs. I need, so in Power Automate, if you want to fill up drop down, we need the integer values. So how we can build one is we can build another prompt So there are multiple ways to do that, right? You can build one prompt and give your multiple data in the JSON, and then you can use different properties. So that way you can only have to call one prompt. But if you have, let's say, this sentiment analysis, you use it in this case, you use it in another place, you use it in another email. So if you use it multiple places, it might be a good idea to like split it into the different prompt and call it separately. So here there's a sentiment analysis prompt. Not sure what it is, so like, okay, let's try it. Let's see how it goes. So you try with your sample email and see like somebody sending an angry email. Okay, it got negative, but like what I want is the integer value. Right? I have these option sets with like, oh, this number, this number, this number. So I want the return me in this value. So you can ask like, you can ask the AI prompt to come up with the integer value instead of the text value. So analyze the text and give me the outputs, the integer output only for the sentiment analysis with these values. And we can define if I want the positive, for positive, return this. Neutral, return this. Negative, return this. So you give an instruction to your copilot, and then it will come up with some prompt. And what you can do, you can now test this with your angry email and see it's coming this one, which is the negative sentiment. And again, just like the one before, you just save it as a prompt, edit the solution, you call it, and you use the prompt. And once you get it, you have the sentiment analysis and add a custom value and use that value from this prompt. So that's the way. So it's similar to the category and all these things. And prompts are not just only in this flows. You can create the prompts in the columns as well. Let's say I want to create a priority column, and based on the case summary and sentiment, if they are angry and it seems more important, make it a high priority. So, but I want to create a column without running a flow to populate that. So this one is, so you can, it's still in preview. So there's a type of column called prompt, right? And it can only show in the text only. So maybe you make it read only on the text. We can show you the drop down to process that. And all you can do is like classify the, just like how we add it into case. So you can process it based on the columns within the same table or the parent table. So you have, let's say you're running on a case, but you can process some fields from the case owner or the customer contact. Right? If the customer is, let's say, we have the status, like VIB status, right? So we can use it, customers, and then like VIB status field to consider the higher priority. So you can use those, but you can't use this for a child table. So you have dogs, a case, but you have so many child dogs. Like if there are more than 10 dogs, make it more urgent. You can't do it like that because you cannot process on the child table, but you can process on the same table, and you can do it on the parent table. What you want to do is we want to see the sentiment and summary, specify the summary and analyze the sentiment and return and provide one of these priorities categories. So I want either low or medium or high. So do not explain and do not use the categories which are not listed. I just want these three values. And in order to test, it will just retrieve the existing data from the database and test. Okay, so and then this looks good. We can have a case priority. So this one will also be created as a prompt, right? And this is a preview feature, so they haven't come up with like how it is gonna cost for the licensing perspective. But for the other prompt, I can explain.
Yeah. And when does that run? Kind of.
It runs when you save the records. Like no matter, like I run it on currently the prompt use the summary and sentiment, right? And I just, let's say I'll put it on the views and the form. So we now have priority, but since this is the prompt field, we just mark it as read only, and I can now add this priority on the view. We just save and publish. Okay. Let's wait for a while until it is being saved. Okay. Let's say if you sometimes publish two components at the same time, you lose one of the publish. If I refresh it, now we get the priority column, but they're all empty because this created, and as you mentioned, it's not running at the moment. But if I do something to this one, and if I save it, and on save of this record, it will be populated. But not just in my prompt, I only use these two columns, right? But imagine even if I go to this login issue and I change something else, like resolution descriptions, nothing related to the prompt columns, but it will still run. So if you want to create a prompt column, and do the data batching of all the historical records. What you can do is there's one tool in the exam toolbox called data editor. Bulk data updater. So you can use that tool to trigger the all the records. So you don't need to update anything. The bulk data updater has the feature called touch. I will show you. Okay, this. So it is in this one. So you can set a value. You can set it now. But touch means like you just go and like touch the record without changing anything, but it triggers all the saves. So it will trigger all these prompt records and populate the data. So that's how you can do the data batching. And the last demo, so this is a prompt column, what I mentioned here. And the last one is on the case resolution. We want to send an email, and we want to drop an email. Instead of writing email, we want to just create a drop email for the support officer. But instead of returning the data back to the flow and flow to create the email, we can also use the prompt to do some actions. So like this is how we normally do, like when a case is resolved, like create a new email, draft an email. So we have this case, and I marked it as a resolve, and I'm hoping to see like some email. Right? So let's create another prompt. So in this prompt, what we will do is so based on the case summary and resolution description, draft an email to the customer about the case resolution summary. So in this case, they have a Wi-Fi problem. So we realized that these guest accounts were not in the proper group, and I added the proper group, and it resolved the problem. Okay, let's resolve it, and then let's email back to the customer that we have done and we have resolved.
Could you also get it to suggest a resolution based on maybe like a knowledge-based lookup?
That will be more of a co-pilot thing, right? Because we need a more knowledge source. As I mentioned in this slide, like where you don't need a knowledge source, something that's simple process, you have an input, you want this output. So
can you create this in an agent that can go grab the information, run the prompts?
Yes.
And the copilot.
Yes, definitely. That's, as I mentioned, like we did in one of the agents, is we process the documents and run the copilot agents with this process data. Similarly, so this is like Cloudflow, right? But also in the copilot, there's an agent flow. So when the agent starts running, you can do whatever we do in the flow. We can call the prompt, one of the steps, and we can do some of the actions there. Okay, this one is, we have case summary and resolution. We want to create an email. Okay, so case summary. Let's test this. Case summary is this one. And the resolution description is this one. Let's test the email. Oh, by the way, you can also change the model for your GPT for your prompt, but the premium one costs more, right? So these are the credits that it will cost. I'll explain you that later. But if you need something that is critical, you can this one is yeah. So that's currently it says like 3 credits. So that means this prompt that I'm doing is quite simple, 3 credits. But if I want to do recommendation, image processing, all these things, maybe 25 credit, 50 credits. So I get an email like this one and subject. So normally what I would do is I would hold the prompt in the middle and create an email with all this content, right? But you can directly create it from here as well. So all you have to do is go to the settings and run a code interpreter. So what the code interpreter will do is it runs a Python code, and so you can ask instead of provide a complete email text as a natural language response, you can ask it to like create an email with, and then you can ask where to put the Dataverse email subject and email message. Subject, message, edit, and run. Right. So this one takes a little bit longer than the other models because behind the scene, the code interpreter, it will just like create a, it will just like prepare the Python code to create the Dataverse records. And let's check. It's not 9892. Okay, so it is. Oh, okay, provide a case summary and resolution description. Dataverse email table. And then in the steps, 5, say they call it and it's to post that. So our output format is by the response. Okay, let's try again. So it's a part of the steps. Not creating. Resolution to extracted. Let's see. Okay, I think I need to refine my prompt a little bit more. But what it normally does is if you get in the model response, the first line's like email draft created successfully and with this ID. and that's the GUID of this Dataverse record. And you will see a record in the Dataverse with this kind of thing. So you can ask the prompt to action and process the data within the Dataverse itself. Okay, so this one, licensing, right? So licensing, as I mentioned on this one, it's costs with the credits. If you're using outside of Copilot, it costs AI Builder credits. If you are using within the Copilot, it consumes some of the Copilot messages. So Copilot, they define their credit by message. So Copilot, you don't have to buy extra AI Builder, but if you're using with the flow, you need to buy those. But some of the license come with some free credits. If you have Dynamics 365 FinOps or Power Automate, you get 5,000 credits. Or Apps has a very little credits. But imagine if you have like 100 users, you might get 50,000 credits. But otherwise, you will have to buy the AI Builder add-on, for which one pack you get 1 million credits. And yeah, once you get it, you can get how many credits your prompt will cost, and then you can work it out how many times this flow will run and how many times this prompt will run. So imagine I have one complex prompt which is 42 credits. So that means if I have only one Pop Apps premium license, I can only run 12 times, which is not possible. I probably have to
Per tenant?
Yeah, it's per month, credits per month per tenant. So it pulls all this credit pool for the tenants. That means if your other business unit somewhere the tenants using, so you have to work it out. That's a buyer tier 1, like 1 million. So that means my prompt can run 23,000 times, which is quite a lot, like quite unlikely to run out unless there are thousands of users. Or they have a tier 2, that means if you buy more than 10 packs, so your price will be like New Zealand 800 to 600. But if you are like really, really big users like MB or big organizations where you buy 50 packs and you get half the price. So 400 for New Zealand dollar. And these are the things that's different kind of ones that different AI Builder costs, as I mentioned. Some of the ones like translation, it costs like 22, and custom document processing 100. So, and the prompt with the premium LLM model, which is like 5.1, that costs 182. So the more you like the more complex, the more it costs.
So that Copilot Studio is if you use this AI prompt in the Copilot Studio, so that will be the credit for
the Copilot credits will use.
Okay.
Yeah. If you use outside of that and you use AI Builder, this is the AI Builder credits.
And the middle one is the Copilot Studio. So
this one is like just trying to compare with the price. So like it just try to get give you the price of the how much it is going to cost with the Copilot license.
Yep.
Right. So, and this is also like how much it is gonna cost with the AI builder. Imagine you just buy one pack, AI builder pack, you got 1 million. That means 100 AI builder, it is cost like 5 cents in US dollar. I try to work it out for.
And the Microsoft charging per usage, or you buy the whole pack, and doesn't matter how much you use.
Doesn't matter how much you use. The minimum is one pack, 1 million. So if you have, at least you need to pay 800.
$800.
Yeah, no matter you just use Summarize and
Yeah.
you don't.
Doesn't matter if you use like 10,000
Yeah.
actions.
Yeah,
You pay the whole pack.
yeah. So there's no pay-go system in the AI builder, but you can pay-go in the Copilots.
So it reminds me that something happened, similar things happened a couple of years ago, no, decades ago in telecom industry where there are so many complicated mobile plans. Like you just don't know where you are looking at all those plans. It's like now it's happening in Copilot again. Like AI builder pretended they have to learn a new concept and put them together to know.
Licensing is always complicated.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, thanks to all the sponsors for making this today's event happen. And if you have any question, you can ask me afterwards. Like